Checking references is an incredibly important step in the hiring process and should never be omitted. A reference may give you the best picture of the candidate's past employment success and failures. Some hospital managers may choose to check an applicant's references after the first interview, but it is often best to call on references before the first interview in order to further weed out those candidates that have not performed well in the past. Checking references can be tricky because there are many rules and oftentimes laws for what you can and cannot ask. It is important to check your state's regulations and suggested procedures for contacting job references. When calling a reference, it is important that you identify yourself, the hospital you are calling from, and of course the reason you're calling. When speaking with a reference, it is important to avoid asking questions that specifically solicit negative information. These negative questions can be misinterpreted as slander. Consider the following scene and ask yourself what might be wrong with these questions.
Hello, this is Linda Jones, and I'm calling with White Rock Animal Hospital. I'm calling to inquire about Adam Smith. He's applying for a technician position here.
Okay, what would you like to know?
Well, was Adam a good employee? Did he have any problems with his coworkers?
Overall, Adam was a pretty good employee.
Okay. Did he get along with other employees? Was he ever argumentative or disruptive with his coworkers?
No, he had a lot of friends here. As a matter of fact, he cheered a lot of people up.
Do you remember whether or not he was married or had any children?
I believe he is married, but they didn't have any children when he was working here.
Adam didn't have any problems with drugs or alcohol, did he?
No, of course not.
Well, great. Well, what was Adam's work ethic like? Was he ever lazy? I mean, did he get all his work done in time, or did he leave tasks unfinished?
No, Adam completed all his work in a timely manner, and I have no doubt he would do the same at your hospital.
Okay, thank you so much for your time. Goodbye.
This scenario was riddled with potential problems. The hospital manager seeking the reference asked numerous questions that attempted to solicit negative information. Let's now look at an example of a safer and more appropriate approach to reference checking.
Hello, this is Linda Jones. I'm calling with White Rock Animal Hospital. I'm calling to inquire about Adam Smith. He's applying for a technician position here.
Okay, what would you like to know?
Well, what can you tell me about Adam?
Adam was a pretty good employee. He completed his work and got along well with other employees. He was a real asset to this hospital.
Well, great. If you had an opportunity to hire Adam again, would you?
Yes, we would.
Wonderful. It sounds like he was a real help to your practice.
Yes, he was.
Thanks for your time.
You're welcome. Goodbye.
One of the most productive questions to ask a reference is whether or not they would hire that individual again. Their answer will often tell you whether or not you need to proceed with interviewing that candidate. In general, ask open-ended questions that do not lead in a negative direction. If the previous employer wishes to share something negative, that's their prerogative. Do not be surprised if a reference is willing to provide only the dates of previous employment for an applicant. Many employers refuse to give additional details regardless of their opinion of the previous employee. This is oftentimes related to the fact that many large companies choose to limit their liabilities by only providing employment dates for past employees. Many of these companies are, however, willing to let you know if the person is eligible for rehiring by that company. References are an integral part of the hiring process. The comments that your references make may not coincide with the way you perceive the applicant. If you do not utilize references, you may end up dismissing a potentially great employee or hiring one that will prove to be inadequate. Reference checking should be used to gain information that would distinguish the outstanding candidate or the truly poor candidate.